So, thank you very much for that inspiring talk. We're going to spend some time together talking about intuition, and I hope to get you involved in this. So, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I lived in the capital of rational thinking, of analytical thinking, Copenhagen, Denmark, where I come from. And my parents had some friends, Uncle Kai and Auntie Dora, and I wasn't very connected to Uncle Kai, but I was quite connected to Auntie Dora. And Auntie Dora, she loved to play the piano, and she loved to see me dance, like children do, forgetting that anyone's watching. You know what that's like. We forget that when we are adults, don't we? And Auntie Dora and Uncle Kai were visiting us. And I was doing my thing, and they went home, and later that night, I went down to see my mother, and I said, "Mom, Uncle Kai just passed away." And my mother would look at me, and she got very angry, and she said, "Don't make fun of that, that's not funny, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't say stuff like that." And I was like, well, he just passed. And my brothers, I have 3 brothers, older brothers, and they made fun of me, and I was like, oh. She was so silly. And I had my first life lesson about intuition. If you have an intuition, keep it to yourself, because otherwise you might be made fun of. And the next day, the news came that Uncle Kai had passed away. So later on in life, I went on through the academic life of Scandinavia and the United States and France and the UK, all these countries that really value the analytical thinking, and I learned that the more analytical I could be, the more knowledge I could get, I could even get some academic reward. And life lesson there was, show your analytical abilities and you will get acknowledgement. Little did I know then that the superpower of all superpowers was the one that I had at 4 years old. And that's not about being part of the chosen few at all. It's just having the trust and the courage to actually voice the intuition that we're all born with, that we came to this world with. So my hope for today is to inspire you to allow intuition to be more of a superpower and give a little bit of rest to the analytical mind. There's a researcher that I'm very, very inspired by. He's called Ian McGilchrist. Does anyone know him? No? He's a neurologist, a philosopher. And he's done some of the most important work on how the brain works. So we have this idea that the left brain is the logical, rational one, and the right one is the crazy, emotional one. And what he has proven or shown is that we can forget all about that. That's not what the division of the brain is about. The division of the brain is about having a holistic side, which is the right side, and a more detailed side, which is the left side, which is quite different from one being the logical one and the other one being the emotional one. Actually, the left brain is quite emotional. It can be very angry, it can be resentful, it can be look at all the faults, which can be really good if you work with security, for instance. On the other hand, the right side of our brain is the one where intuition lives. It's the one that sees the whole. It's the one that wants everything to come together. And Ian McGilchrist has this beautiful story where he says that when we look at the brain, when we think about how the brain works, we can see it as the right part of the brain is this spiritual master having this beautiful place where he takes care of, or she takes care of, the well-being of everyone. She has a whole sort of understanding of the entirety of everyone's well-being. There's peace. But then the spiritual master says, okay, I need someone to do the numbers here. I need someone to take care of the details. I need someone to do the logistics of things. And for that we have the left brain. That's what the analytical mind can do. The problem is that the analytical mind has become the master. And in fact, we need the analytical mind to be the servant of the holistic, the more intuitive mind, which is the right side of our brain. There you go. Now you got it all. Yeah. Yes. So Albert Einstein is known for having this understanding that the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. But we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. So, what is intuition really? Intuition is known as this immediate sense that we suddenly realize something without actually reasoning. We have that hunch, we have that aha moment. And we know from the narratives of most research and most important research in the world that it didn't happen by analysis, didn't happen by researchers scribbling along and doing analysis. It actually happened in that moment when they went to the shower, or that moment when they were walking and thinking about something else, then suddenly it was clear to them. How many of you know that feeling that you've been thinking about something for a long time, trying to figure it out, and then you do something else, you go for a walk or you are in the shower, and then suddenly everything becomes clear? How many of you know that experience? Yes? Yes. Okay, a lot of people actually know that. And that's why it's so important for us, if we want to create better decisions, and this is what the research shows us about highly intuitive people. It shows us that they do better, faster decisions in complex situations. And as we heard earlier, we live in a crazy, busy time with a lot of complexity, with a high level of stress. We all know that. We don't need the research to tell us about that. We can feel it in our bodies. And we also know that sometimes we get stuck in decision making because we actually get stuck in trying to analyze something. If we train our intuition, then we have access to a wisdom that actually resides in our bodies, that comes from generations and generations. So, highly intuitive people, they are stronger in their judgment in complex situations. They show up with more innovative solutions. What does that mean? It means, again, that if you stress yourself trying to figure something out, you jam your body and you put your amygdala, you put your fight and flight system all under alarm. And I think, again, we all know that very well. When we're stressed trying to find a solution, force a solution, the solution is nowhere near. We go and dance, as we were talking about earlier, and then suddenly, wow, I got it. I did that with the preparation for this talk. I've been spending weeks thinking, what should I say? I want to get them working, I want to get them up, and I want to get them, but, and my students and there are people here in this room who know I get them to do all kinds of things, but can I do it? And then I said, Lucy, could you consider using your intuition for this? And I meditated for 12 minutes only, and everything became clear. And that's my invitation to you, to really put that intention out there. When you have a big problem to solve, the bigger it is, the more important it is. Do your silent moment and just allow the solutions to come. It sounds easier than it is, I know that. Improved relationships, highly intuitive people are shown to have improved relationships. Why? Because highly intuitive people slow down. They pay attention. They pay attention to their bodies, to their breath, to how other people are feeling in a room. They have a sense of what's going on. They know themselves. And there is this saying, know yourself, and know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, or know yourself and it shall set you free. Knowing yourself is so important. Why? Because we carry so much grief and trauma and pain and anxiety, and when we meet other people, it gets triggered. Our story meets their story. Their wounds meet our wounds. And the more we learn about our own wounds and we become conscious of them, we can also develop the ability to follow our intuition. Why? Because sometimes we have an intuition, let's go in that direction, but fear can say, oh, no. A simple example. Planning a trip by yourself. Oh, I want to go to Thailand. Intuition could say, yes, go to Thailand, that's an excellent idea. Fear could say, no. Don't go to Thailand, it's really bad for you. You're a woman, don't go by yourself as a woman. That's not intuition, that's fear. When we have leadership decisions to make, we can have intuition. The most prominent leaders of the world, they use their intuition. There's research showing this. What is their number one superpower? It's their intuition. But we need to know ourselves first, so that we know the difference. So that's why, part of the reason why people with highly developed intuition have improved relationships. And the last reason to develop your intuition could be that it would be nice to eliminate the mind clutter. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can hit the right button here. You know, the biggest threat to intuition is technology. Do you agree? The most scary part about intuition is technology. Okay, so what is intuition? According to the dictionary, Britannica Dictionary definition of intuition is a natural ability or power that makes it possible to know something without any proof of evidence. A feeling that guides a person to act a certain way without fully understanding why. And here comes the right brain and the left brain again, because the left brain does this. It takes a lot of information, it chops it up, tears everything apart, and zooms in on one part. That's what it does really well. The thing is, when you only look at one part, what happens? You can answer, come with some, what happens if we only look at one part? We lose the big picture, right? You have a painting, you look at one color. That's the only thing you do. You just look at that one color. What happens? You lose sense of the entire image, of the piece of art. And we do that with humans as well. We focus in, hyper-focus in one thing that we get upset about or whatever. We lose the sense of the whole. So our right brain, the intuitive brain, can say, okay, what's the big picture here? Good. So now I would like you to get involved. How and where do you identify intuition? Just give that a thought for a moment while I speak. So when we look for the analytical brain, where do we go? First we go to the body, then we take the elevator up to the head, then we take the elevator into the brain, into the skull, then into the brain, then into a side of the brain, and then into a part of that brain. That's where we look for the analytical mind. Where do we look for intuition? In the heart. We look for it in the body. We experience it through the body. We experience it through our senses. So you have an intuition, you can feel it. There's a heartbeat, or your stomach goes like this. We talk about gut feeling, right? What is gut feeling? It's actually tapping into the wisdom of the body. Researchers also call the gut the second brain, and there's a reason for that. So let me know, give me some ideas here. How and where do you identify intuition? What is intuition? Yes. Oh, shoot. I'm used to having it. Can I? Trusting ourselves. Right, so that could be one. Yes, thank you. What else? What else is intuition? Yes, Maria?
Using all your senses?
Using all your senses, yes. What else?
You just simply know that you know.
I love that. You just simply know that you know. And that's interesting. Because you know what the left brain does? It says, I know everything. I'm looking at this one part and I just know everything. That's what the left brain does. That's what our society does. That's what science does. It says, I'm going to pull everything apart, I'm going to look at that one thing, and then I'm going to say, I'm the one who knows everything. But you know this saying, it's not a saying, it's a philosopher saying, that the more we know we don't know. So that's the right brain. The right brain says, oh, I know, I sense something. I know there's a lot of stuff I don't really know. The left brain says, I can see my entire field here, so I know everything. But intuition is a little bit different, because intuition comes with that sense of knowing. It's not a, I know everything, it's just that deep, cellular knowing. Okay, some other examples on intuition. What is intuition, or how do you experience it? Something without the ego. Thank you. Interesting. Yes. Lovely. What else? Yes. I don't know if this works.
Let's say maybe something that your body kind of speaks to you about.
Your body speaks to you about. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's like how you feel after you've been in a certain situation or around maybe certain people. The feeling you feel after you've been, do you feel good or do you feel bad? That's going to tell you everything you need to know.
That's going to tell you everything you need to know. And there you have it again, right? That's what developing intuition can do for us. It can give us this ability to give us everything we need to know without reasoning. Just like this, just in one moment. Okay, so how do we do it? This is like the executive summary version. First you go and work with Serena and Kamala, and apart from that, what we really need to do to develop intuition is to learn to listen and know ourselves better. Pay attention to ourselves more. And then cultivate the courage to trust it. Because obviously, you remember the little 4-year-old girl in Denmark saying, Uncle Kai passed away. She knew, right? She totally knew. But she learned, don't you go around talking about your intuition, girl, because we're going to make fun of you if you are. No. Do your analytical work, do your research, and then speak. So what we need to know is first, listen to ourselves and know ourselves better, and then cultivate the courage to trust it. Because I bet many of you have had an intuition in your lives, many times probably, where you said, I sense this is it. I sense this about this person. I sense that I should hire this person. I sense that I should let go of this person. I sense that I should go in this direction. I sense that I should be with that partner. I sense I shouldn't be with that partner. But had the fear of taking the decision, because taking the decision without a reasoning was just a little bit too frightening. At least I know that really, really well. I experienced it in my own life. So if we break it down, it's about paying attention to the body. Learning to say, okay, what's actually going on? Am I sensing, is my heart beating? Is my gut going like this? Am I clenching my fists? Or do I feel at ease? Is there flow? That's one thing, learning to understand the language of the body so you can access the wisdom of your body. The mind, that's another part. Learning to understand your fears, your triggers, your anxieties, and your dreams. Because sometimes intuition can get in the way. We say, oh, I have an intuition that I should be with this person. Maybe it's not an intuition, maybe it's a dream. And that's very different from an intuition. So it's very important that we learn to understand and to know what are our fears, what is fear, and what is intuition. And that is, of course, deep work. It's not going to be done in 5 minutes, but being in stillness and slowing down is definitely one of them. Listening more to ourselves. And then there's the energetic level, becoming aware of what we sense, paying attention to what goes on in a room. So you have attention to your body, attention to your mind and thoughts, and attention to what is actually going on in a room. And when we do that, then if we meet someone who we feel offended by, maybe we can say, oh, what's actually going on here? What am I actually sensing about this situation? So it gives us access to a little bit more information. Any questions? Yes? Sorry? Right, so a really, really, really important question is, can there be situations where your intuition is wrong? And of course, it's a very, very important question. How do we know when our intuition is wrong? We know it after we have taken a decision. So, and how do you deal with that? So my personal take on that is that we need to build courage to trust our intuition. That's one. And number two is getting to know ourselves. Of course, our intuition can be wrong, or what I perceive an intuition can be wrong. Seen from a logical point of view, that must be the case. But my experiences, also with the people I work with, is that when you tap into the intuitive space, you learn to let that guide you so much more. It's a matter of trust. And the more you trust it, the more experience you get with it. And I can tell you, I have worked with the most amazing people I have ever met. CEOs, founders, leaders of huge organizations. And even when we talk about financial strategy, we use intuition as a superpower. So, any other questions? No. Okay, we still have some time, and what I would like you to do now is to just turn to the person beside you and just answer this question. When did you have a gut feeling that you did not trust or follow, and why? So you just do that right now, and you're only going to have 2 minutes, so it's not going to take a long time. But I would like you to just speak to, yes, you go over there, you go together, you know each other, you can talk. The two of you, the two of you, the two of you, and you, yes. It's just a talk, it's just sharing, it's not that scary. Yes, please find someone to talk to. Go ahead, please, there's a gentleman there, go ahead and have someone to talk to. It's just a conversation. When did you have a gut feeling? And I'm just going to ask you, I know you're already talking, but you're going to have 1 minute more. One person shares, and then you talk, and then the other person shares. Okay, so you have 3 seconds for that number one person to stop sharing, and then the one that hasn't talked yet can talk now. So switch persons and share your story. Okay, so please finish up. And now, be that wonderful person and share some of your insights with everyone else so that we can all have the gift of hearing some of your experiences. What are some of the insights or some of the things you were talking about? Who wants to share? Sharing is caring, as you know. Yes.
Okay, so I would say my marriage or my previous marriage was like a toxic one and a red flag, and I've always known, like in my gut, I've known it's just wrong. But I think my problem is that I don't want to trust my intuition, and I give people or the situation the benefit of the doubt. And once I left that, I learned to, listen more to what my mind is saying, my body is saying, and I've never felt better.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Another story. Yes. Yo, she does that all the time. Yes.
I think, I was sharing basically, I'm having hard time. Sometimes my gut says no to something, but I have a hard time saying no.
Thank you. And that's both examples here are very important, and thank you for sharing that, because I promise you, and I promise you that every single person in this room has had that exact same experience. So when you voice it, you give the opportunity to every single one in this room to say, I recognize that. And it's such an important one, because that's when it comes into play, this thing about getting to know ourselves better. Because we can have that super strong gut feeling, and then I doubt myself, I say, no, what will happen if I leave the marriage? Or what will happen if I say no to this person? And that's where our fears come up. And that's part of learning to know ourselves better. Say, what am I actually afraid of? Am I afraid of being excluded from a group? Am I afraid of being judged? Am I afraid of being judged or excluded, rejected? And that's where the self-knowledge comes in as a really, really important part. And it's a work for the rest of your life, by the way. So, it's not a quick fix. One more share before we... One more share? Yes? Thank you.
So it's having a gut feeling that you didn't trust or follow, right? So at the moment I'm house hunting, which is extremely tough and exhausting. And knowing and being told to not rush it, find the right place, and I'm going through a very transformative period of my life. So the place that I choose to be for the next year at least, it has to be the right place. And my housemate and I have a checklist of things that are non-negotiables for us, and every other place we've seen so far has had something missing or the other. And just yesterday, we found a place that pretty much checked every single box, but I had an intuitive feeling that it was not the place, but I that rational, analytical mind was saying there's no reason that it isn't the place, and everything was perfect. And so I wasn't actually following that intuitive feeling, and we messaged the landlord to say, yes, we'll take it, but the universe or whatever, it decided for me, which was, yeah, in my intuition, and he said, oh, we just closed the deal, so.
Wow, thank you very much for that example. It's a fantastic example, and I just want to finish off reminding you, the analytical mind has a few dots, right? It takes everything apart, it makes everything separate, and it zooms in. So how much basis does it have to take decisions on? Quite limited, right? It can see this dot and that dot and that dot. The intuitive mind has about 15 or 20 dots to take its knowledge from. They're subconscious. Maybe they're not only subconscious. Maybe they're also from universe or from a collective field. Whatever you believe in is not important to me. What is important is that you honor yourself, your sensations, your sense of things, and that you allow the right part of your brain, your intuitive, holistic brain, to be the master, and let the analytical brain be the servant. So, it is time to end, and since part of this is about trusting yourself, so that we can live more in community and show up as more authentic people, I'm going to invite you, and I hope you do give yourself the time for this, to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. If you don't, it's okay, and listen to a piece of music that I have selected for you today, that I hope that you will take in and just take a moment of slowing down before you move on. Thank you very much, and thank you for showing up and sharing your time and energy and thoughts.
I'm allowing me to be me. I'm allowing me to be free. I'm allowing my power. I'm allowing well-being. I'm allowing my path to light up before me. I'm allowing everything to just be as it comes to me. I'm shining brightly. I'm allowing, easily allowing all my dreams to be in the right timing. I'm allowing me to be me. I'm allowing me to be free. I'm allowing my worth. I'm allowing my I'm allowing my path to unfold now before me. I'm allowing everything to just be as it comes to me. I'm shining brightly. I'm allowing, easily allowing all my dreams to be in the right timing. I'm allowing me to be me. I'm allowing me to be free, to be me.
Thank you, everyone.